at 13 under. Bryson DeChambeau. Patrick, you talk about big boys. He's not as big as he once was, but he is still quite big, and he is playing like it this week. Bookends of circles on this card. A birdie on one, double circle, eagle on two. He chipped in there and sent this crowd into a frenzy. It's a very pro Bryson crowd out here, I'll tell you that. He probably slots like second behind Justin Thomas, admittedly, now that Scottie Scheffler has kind of played himself out of it. But a second major championship of the year and a second contention for Bryson.
So one of the first tournaments I got to cover was the 2021 BMW Championship at Caves Valley. Infamous, right? Patrick Cantlay, Bryson DeChambeau, that playoff. Might have been 2022. One of those years, though, but in Baltimore. And I learned that week that Bryson DeChambeau, out of all the players out there, might feed off the crowd as much as anyone. He almost shoots 59, I think, on Friday that day. He has everything going for him. And then over the weekend, Baltimore flips on him. They chant Patty Ice every which way. That's when the nickname was coined. He almost fights a fan walking off the 18th hole. And he goes like really down bad that week. And I think something similar happened at the Masters, where it was pretty pro Bryson early, and then they flipped pretty quickly as well. Rick, you said they cheered when they put some of his bogeys up on the board.
That is true. Yes, they did.
And so I think the crowd's a big factor for Bryson. That being said, he had no business shooting 4 under today. Ooh. Zero business. His iron play was atrocious. It was so bad, and he even admitted as much. And so the fact that he got in only 2 off the lead, the chip in eagle on 18 was massive for him. I can't help but think he's going to piece it all together tomorrow. I really think, because he doesn't have to contend with the green speed. He has all his toys. He has his utensils, I guess, right? The fork, the knife, the 3D printed irons, everything he needs to succeed. And I think he's in store for a big boy, big time final round.
1.6 strokes to the negative on approach in round number 3. As I was walking back up here from CBS Sports HQ, who was on the range? That was Bryson DeChambeau. Greg, he has done that basically every night this week. He would, oh man, if he were to win this, it would be exciting. It would be entertaining. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it does seem like we're in store for an entertaining one tomorrow. The iron play for him today, it looks like you in a typical major championship where it's really firm and fast, and you can't get up and down from the short sides. It would be okay. It was just he didn't hit anything close, right? It's wide. Everything's wide. It's a lag putting kind of day, which on this golf course and this setup, you don't need to play that way. So he gets 7, obviously chips in for eagle at 18, hit a nice little wedge into 13 as well. But other than that, he didn't have very many good looks for birdie. So I watched this, and I don't know what we're going to get out of Bryson. My assumption is he's going to play really well. We did think this was a great golf course for him heading in. I think it's turned into a little more of a little less of a driver's test than I thought originally. And that distance that he has off the tee doesn't seem to be as big of an advantage. His ability out of the rough doesn't seem to separate from the rest of the field as much as I thought, which will be very interesting tomorrow. But all that being said, I still think he can putt well enough on these greens, and his short game has been very sharp this week as well.
2:15 p.m. Eastern time, the third to last group, Bryson DeChambeau and Victor Hovland. If you need me, you know where to find me. The man sitting in solo third at 14 under is Sahith Theegala. And Greg, I'm going to bounce this right back to you, because we sat here in the media center after he started 2 over through his first 7, including making par on the par 5 7th. And the words were uttered, something to the effect of, he's not ready. Moment's too big for him. he's playing with Colin and Xander, and it's over. Maybe next year. Au contraire. Birdie on 9, birdie on 10, birdie on 11, birdie on 13, birdie on 15, birdie on 18. And just like that, Sahith is 4 under 67, 1 shot off the lead.
It's incredible. And when I watched Sahith do this and put this run together after a rough start, I couldn't help but think of Scotty Scheffler and what could have been. Right? Like we talked about those first 4 holes. You just get through there in 2 over instead of 4 over. And, if something becomes possible. And Sahith showed that today, where Scotty did not. He was very good, hit some very good approach shots in there. But really what he does on the greens is so impressive. That putting stroke is unique. He's had that putter since his college days, and there's no reason for him to change it because he rolled some beautiful putts consistently. And another guy that seems to really feed off the crowd. He seemed to get really into the moment. When he made that birdie at 15, he was completely fired up. That chip in at 15 from long of the green, he was fired up. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if he threw his hat on the ground. I know he didn't, but that's the kind of celebration he showed. So he's feeling the energy. He's in the heat of battle. And if he can get to that place where he's going downhill again tomorrow, it's going to be fun to watch him in this closing stretch, along with a Bryson and a Victor, who are also big-time emotional players.
15 was the hole of the day for me, Patrick, because that's where there was so much movement in that final group. Colin stuffs one in there, ends up making the birdie putt. You've got Xander making double, so three shot swing for those two. Sahith chips in for birdie, very loud roar, a lot of momentum, a lot of energy. So 2 shot swing between he and Xander as well. It was special.
Sahith doing that on top of Xander was awesome. It was so sick. And honestly, the start makes it so much better. He short sides himself with a wedge, catches a wedge thin out of that bunker, makes bogey. He thought he shanked his tee shot on 6. He looked at his club. He literally said, I might have shanked that. It makes bogey, doesn't take advantage of 7. First time he's in real major championship contention. And to kind of still be level-headed after that is very impressive. Very impressive. To go on the run of 6 birdies over your last 10 holes, a back 9, 31, Saturday at a major championship. I don't really care about the conditions. That's ballsy. Next to a 2-time major champion, next to one of the best players in the world in Xander Schauffele, and to not blank over the back 9 and to kind of dunk on Xander on that hole too. When you need one, when that guy's struggling, who entered the hole with a 2-stroke lead, and you do that, kudos, man. He's so fun to watch. He's so fun to root for. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Those guys are just so easy to get behind.
He will be out in the penultimate group at 2:25 p.m. Eastern with Shane Lowry, leaving us with just 2 more golfers. They will be out together in the final group. They are going out at 2:35 p.m. Eastern time. They are Ryder Cup teammates. They are President's Cup teammates. They are a pair of Americans. They are Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa. Greg, let's go with Colin Morikawa. A 4 under 67, and after an early bogey on number 2, he turned it around. A bounce back immediately on 3. Another birdie on 5, 1 on 10, 1 on 15, and 1 on 18. This is the first time this week he did not have a streak of 3 birdies or more during his round. This was just pick him off here, pick him off there, keep yourself in this championship. And when he looks up, he's going to enter the final round with a co-lead for his 3rd major championship.
Yeah, this seems to be setting up really well for Colin Morikawa, because I didn't think he was all that great today. It was not his best day approaching the green, although he did hit some really good iron shots, but not stuffing it in there regularly except for 15, the way that you expect Colin Morikawa to. But what he's done really well this week is scramble. And those kind of scrambling up and downs have been huge to keep the momentum going. He's not afraid of even chipping in. I just get this sense that he knows how to put a score on the board. and without his best stuff, which could be a sign. He hit some putts that I thought were, not the smoothest of strokes. A couple of them looked a little jabby, if you will, like he was tossing the putter head a little bit, throwing the toe a little ahead of the heel and pulling them left. So I didn't love what I saw there. But then again, at the same time, he finishes with the great shot where Sahith and Xander both seem to misjudge the wind at 15. He figures it out, hits that shot in there, and then makes the birdie at 18. Morikawa is going to be really tough to beat tomorrow because he's not really leaning on any one area of his game too much, even though he's leading the field in strokes gained around the green. It feels like there's a lot of ways where he can get the job done tomorrow.
The man he will go to battle alongside, although I guess they're competing against one another, they'll just be in the same group, really, Patrick, is Xander Schauffele. It was a 3-under 68, and it was smooth sailing for the majority of this round. We have already discussed the double bogey that he made at 15, which really turned the tide of this championship. I was impressed by the way he finished. He stuffed one on 17, makes a nice birdie there. And then, of course, he gets one at 18 to get in at 15 under. It was a 3-shot lead after the opening round for Xander Schauffele. It was a 1-shot lead for Xander Schauffele after 36. It is now a 0-shot lead, tied at the top for Xander Schauffele after 54. Are we trending in the wrong direction, or is this just him biding his time?
I don't know if you can say he was trending in the wrong direction. He hit 12 fairways today and 16 greens. It was really a masterclass, and he just got nothing to fall on the greens outside of the putt on 10, obviously, and the putt on 14 were bonus. But like early on, he made the par putt on 1, and then kind of just like hovered for most of it. And I guess the spin zone for this round for Xander is, hey, you got punched in the face. The good news is it's not the back 9 on Sunday. It's the back 9 on Saturday. And you have time to regroup. And you bounced back like a champ to tie for the lead. Yes, he could have pushed the envelope even further. Say you par that hole. Say you hit the fairway with, what was it, a short iron, like an 8-iron in his hand? Maybe not even into that green, and you're leading by 2 tonight. But guess what? You're tied with Colin Morikawa. You tied him up late. You finished like a champ. How about you go ahead and get this done?